Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Denny and today I have a declutter video. I recently was going through my drawers and noticed there's a lot of products that I wasn't giving love to. So rather than just keep them inside my drawers, I figured I would start doing a declutter. And periodically I do this. I go through my drawers, I check to see if there are products that are not being used so much, products that I'm not really loving at the moment, and if possible, if they're usable, I find them another home. If not, I also go through and see if there's things that are expired, and then I just chuck those. So today we are going to be talking about all of the products that I pulled out for that declutter. The first item that I pulled out is an eyeshadow palette, and this is a Stila The Naturals palette. It comes with 3 very pale matte shades, 3 very pale shimmers, and then what seems to be, to me, a blush topper and a bronzer. But all of this palette is so natural, so light that it does not even show up on my skin tone. So even though I have tried to use the shadows a couple of times, I really haven't used this a lot. Most of the times I've been swatching it to see if I can actually get pigment out of it, and when I put it on my skin it kind of disappears. So this is something that if I know someone who's fair enough that can pull these off, I would definitely give it to them. So the next thing that I have here is another eyeshadow palette, and this is the Figtastic City Color eyeshadow palette. It comes with all of these lovely shades, and as you will see, I've only swatched this purple one, possibly this pink, and this peach. Everything else is unused. And I honestly don't know why I haven't been gravitating and wanting to use this palette, but I just don't see myself grabbing it. So rather than leaving it in my drawer and letting it get old, I want to pass it off to someone. The next item is also an eyeshadow palette, and this is the Revlon Color Stay Not Just Nudes palette, and this comes with a range of nude blush into purples and just very light colors that kind of don't complement my skin tone. So this is another one that I want to pass off. I've swatched a couple of colors but have never truly used it at all. The next one is this Ulta palette, which I'm going to open it up. It's like a trifold. It has a mirror right there. This guy has all these eyeshadows, and then it has what is supposed to be like a blush contour highlight combo right in that section, and it comes with a couple of lip glosses, some eyeliner, and a brush of some sort. I've truthfully only swatched, I believe I've only swatched this color and that purple and possibly this color. I've never even used this palette at all. I've just swatched it. And then as for the, and I may have just stuck my finger in one of the other colors. And as for this, they have never been touched. None of the glosses or pencil have been used ever. So this is one that I want to go ahead and give to someone, give it a home, because I know I'm not going to be using this palette at all. So the next palette that I have here is this Bare palette by Profusion. This also has a mirror on this side, and those are the colors. So even though I've swatched 4 of the colors, after putting them on my hand, I noticed that I have these same colors in other palettes. I have so many nude palettes. I have so many copper blush type palettes. So it makes no sense to keep this one when I have so many already. And this is another one that I want to find a home for. So I have here this Rimmel London collab with Kate, and it is a blush, contour, and highlighter combo. And this was another one that was a little bit too light for my skin. It didn't really give me the pigmentation that I prefer. So I have tried it, I have used it and swatched it, but it's something that it's still usable and I want to find it a home. So then another product that I have here is this Revolution Strobe Highlighter, and this is in the shade Moon Glow Nights. And the reason why I am going to be donating this is because it comes off really light on me. It's kind of very pale and white. It doesn't show up the way I like highlighters to be, very shimmery and very glitterful and glowing. This is a more subtle highlight. This is more for like contouring than actually strobing. So for me, it just feels like it's a highlight to like highlight under your under the contour, but not a shimmery highlight like I like to use. So this is one that I want to give a home to. I've only swatched it a couple of times as well. So next up I have this Pixie by Petra Beauty Bronzer, and this one right here, let me see, I have swatched, but it does not fit my skin tone. It's very pale. This one I received through one of my box subscriptions, and I think that they had me as very fair, and even though I may look so pale, this does not show up on my skin tone at all. Next up I have this Baked Blush by Hard Candy. This one is in a very pale pink shade, and to me this is more of a blush topper, and I have tried to use this, but I think that when it comes to baked items, you kind of have to scratch off the surface and get into the actual product for there to be pigmentation. But I'm too lazy for all of that, so this is one that I'm gonna go ahead and give to someone else. Then I also have this e.l.f. palette. This is a golden bronzing type of palette, which is quite used, but I think I'm gonna give this to one of my cousins. I don't really gravitate towards it. I've never even used this shade, and to be honest, I have so many other highlighting and bronzing palettes that to keep this, it doesn't make sense. The next item that I have is this Maybelline Dream Cushion, which I mistakenly purchased the wrong shade. I got the 40 and it is way too dark for me. And it just does not work out for me. I have tested it out to see if it would match, and I've tried to make it work, but it's just too dark. So I'm gonna pass this off to someone who it would actually fit their skin tone. Same thing with this Maybelline Better Skin Powder. Even though the outside of this package may look damaged, for some reason, the stores around here put these barcodes that stick onto the products, and when you rip it off, you kind of rip off the peel too. Oop, and I lost the sponge. Nonetheless, this shade was a bit too dark for me, and this is another one that I'm just gonna find it another home, because I've only swatched it and I've tried to put it on at least once, but I've noticed that it's way too dark, so I'm gonna pass this off to someone. The next thing is this concealer by NYX, and this is their HD concealer. I purchased this concealer and I used it possibly once or twice, and I have really sensitive under eyes, and this did not work well with my skin. It kind of made me like itchy, and when I scratch I get a rash, so I could not use this. I used it possibly one time. I'm gonna pass this off to one of my friends who most likely will be able to use it. The next item is also another concealer. This is the Wet n Wild concealer, the Photo Focus concealer. Now I purchased this and used it possibly like 2 or 3 times, and I noticed that every time I put it on, especially when I dragged it a little bit lower, I would get pimples in that area. So I'm very sensitive to this as well, and it kind of breaks me out. Something in this formula does not like to mesh well with my skin, so this is another one that I'm going to give to one of my friends. So I have here 2 color correctors by the company City Color, and I purchased these, swatched them, and then realized I don't really do much color correcting. Why did I buy this? And they were just fun colors, so I ended up picking them up because of that, but I don't do a lot of color correcting. So these two are, I'm going to pass them off because truthfully I've never even used them. I've only swatched them because I thought they were cool looking. So next up I have another concealing product. I have trouble with concealing products if you don't notice this by now. So I have here the City Color Treat and Go Concealer with Tea Tree Oil. This I purchased thinking that it would be a good dupe for another concealing stick that I have. And I tested it out, and this one was a little too, it tugged at my skin, so it was a little too rough for my under eyes. I have very sensitive under eyes, so this is yet another one that I couldn't use, and it's practically brand new. I've possibly swatched it once. So the next product that I have is another City Color Glowing Complexion Tinted Moisturizer, and this is in the shade Natural. The reason why I am decluttering this one is because this kind of matches my summer color. It's a little bit too dark for my skin tone and it's not the right undertone. So there's nothing wrong with it, just the fact that it doesn't really complement my skin tone. So this is one that I'm going to find another home for. And then right here I have a foundation by Revlon. This is the Nearly Naked foundation in the shade 170 Natural Beige. I thought this was the right color, but it is a little dark on my skin tone. So this is another one that needs a good home. I've only tested it out and realized it doesn't match me, and it's brand new, so it needs a new home. So now I have another concealing product, and this one looks a little dirty, but this is the Physicians Formula Gentle Cover Concealer, and this one's a little bit more creamier, but it can get greasy. So this is one that I'm going to see if it will work well with someone else with different type of skin than my skin. Again, another concealing item that doesn't work well with me. So I also have here this Butter Blush by Physicians Formula, and the reason why I am decluttering this guy is because, one, the smell of cocoa butter kind of doesn't sit well in my stomach. I don't really like the scent that this has, and everyone else raves that it smells so delicious and so good. No, I don't like the way it smells. It does, also the fact that it's supposed to be a blush, but it's so pale that to me is more of a blush topper. So one, it's a blush topper, and two, I can't get past the smell of it. So this I will definitely find another home for. I'm pretty sure there's someone else who's not very sensitive with certain smells that would like this. And you would think a person who loves perfume wouldn't have that sensitivity to certain smells, but something in here reminds me of something that I don't really like or prefer. I feel like it takes me back in my mind to a different time or somebody that smelled like this, and I just kind of, it's very off-putting to me. So the next item that I have here is by the brand Pacifica, and this is a duo in Natural Beauty, and this duo is supposed to be a bronzer and a highlight, but again, the color is a little too light for me. It's off in the shade and it just doesn't match my skin tone. So even though I've tried to work them out and work them onto my skin, they just have not worked out. So I have here another product. This is a combo of bronzer, blush, and highlight, and I'm decluttering this because it's so tiny that I really can't get my brush in there. And I'm not really gonna like swatch it with my fingers to put it on my face. So this one, just because to me it's not very usable in this little pan, but I'm sure there's someone who wouldn't mind using these shades in that form. And I really don't know what brand this is because there's no label on it. So then the next product that I have here is a blush, and this one is from Ulta's line. This is the Extreme Wear Blush. It's the Matte Finish Mousse Blush in Peach Glow, and I've only just swatched this with my finger. It is a mousse consistency. It is like a cream blush, and again, this one does not match my skin tone as well. So these are more so being decluttered because they don't match my skin tone. And then lastly, the last item that I am going to be decluttering is this e.l.f. moisturizing lipstick in the shade Cheeky. The reason why I am decluttering this one is because I already have this shade. I am notorious for buying things I already own. I go to the store and find things, and then I go and purchase them again. So comment if you're like me, who ends up purchasing two of the same thing all the time and then only comes back to realize that you already have that color. Why did you buy it? So this one is more so because the shade is one that I already own, and I think I can just give this to one of my cousins. They don't mind, you know, cleaning it and using a lipstick that I give them. So that was everything that I have decluttered so far. I'm pretty sure there's more items that need to be decluttered from my drawers, but at the moment these were all the items that I pulled out, and I'm going to start finding a home or throwing away. I hope you like videos where I'm decluttering things from my collection, and if you want to see more detailed videos of my collection, go ahead and leave me a comment letting me know that that's something that you're interested in. I would gladly put that together for you girls. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Become a member of my family, and as always, from my house to yours. Love ya.